so this presentation that I put together late at 2 o'clock in the morning last night, which probably, there's going to be like a shitload of spelling errors, and just ignore that stuff. And I'm not good at giving presentations.
Should
You've
we
been warned.
You sound like a filmmaker.
Should we let you do it like a presentation, or is it more like a conversation? Or
It's a conversation, guys, so please chime in. And Matt, he watches a shitload of horror films, so he knows probably, like, I wish I was at Matt's level. I'm like, he's like my sensei. What movies out there do I need to see? He knows. But I'll see something like really obscure and be like, hey, have you seen this yet? Trying to show him up, and he'd be like, yeah, I saw it last week. But anyways, yeah, he watched 100 films this month. Were they all horror films or horror related?
It's only horror this October. I saw Blade Runner, but that was it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Is it any good?
It's okay.
Okay, cool.
Is it worth seeing what happened with Harrison Ford?
I don't know.
Don't get it. You can
Don't
give
get
anything away.
going.
I think the trailer gave it away. All right. Okay. Why horror? Because the dedicated fan base. I feel like as far as like more bang for your buck, a horror film you can make super cheap. And I'm actually going to give some really good examples here, and still make a shitload of money because the fan base, they're going to come out and they're going to see the movie. I'm a sucker for that. I've watched some really bad shit. Matt probably watched just some really bad shit, like what we're doing with our lives. But I just love it. So like, you know, I'll actually watch something that was made independently opposed to something in the theater. I would enjoy the independent stuff because like I feel like more imagination's put into something like that. Because it's like, okay, I gotta work around not having a budget, so I gotta make my story original or creative. So that interests me more than seeing something that goes for cheap scares. Okay? The subgenres for horror films is ridiculous, like I said. I have them all listed here. Monsters, slashers, zombies, ghosts, nature horror films, aliens, torture porn, comedy, exploitation, found footage, and psychological thrillers. I said this earlier, as a genre, I think it has like the most room for imagination to work with than any other genre. Yeah, can be made with low budget and have major returns. Does anybody want to build off of that? Sounds good.
I mean, you're right. Like, it's a great starting place if you're going to make you just want to be a director, not necessarily like be in horror movies. It's like if you make a horror movie, people will watch it no matter if it's good or bad.
So a lot of like directors now started off making, like big name directors started off with an independent crappy horror film. James Gunn, Steven Spielberg, you know, Sam Raimi. Let me think here. Sam Raimi made The Evil Dead. Come on, there's one more. Who did the Lord of the Rings?
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
What's his
Machete, he's now doing big horror movies that started off with, what was it, 3-minute short or whatever on YouTube?
Right.
Oh, no, you're thinking of the guy who did District 9.
Oh, yeah. Damn, what's his name? My brain.
Blomkamp.
Yeah, Neil Blomkamp.
Yeah. I mean, that was crazy, but that guy's really good with his effects. But
Jackson did like 3 horror movies before.
yeah, Peter Jackson's. What was his first one called?
Bad Taste.
Bad Taste. Okay, I
Is it
have
good?
not seen that.
It's okay. Dead Alive is the one after that, and that one is like one of the best ever.
That's
I have to see
a
that.
really good movie.
I don't. It's probably the goriest movie ever too.
No,
it's like a comedy. But
comedic gore. It's like, oh yeah, you can tell that's just fake as shit, but it's just so funny and just over like, yeah, like somebody gets stabbed and it's just like oozing of crap coming out. It's pretty good. It's a good movie to get with all your friends and stuff. Like, you know, let's watch this. I've just listed some classic horror films here. This is probably stuff you guys already seen. I tried to put like little fun facts in there, like Halloween.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I know. Has anybody seen the original Black Christmas or heard of it? I know you have. Have you? No.
I don't need to. I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's basically the same story as Halloween. Or I haven't seen it. I'm correct, right? It's about a person that escapes from a mental institution and he kills off his family
No,
during Christmas.
not really.
No.
Like, Halloween is, really simple. Like, he comes back home, comes back to his hometown after escaping from a mental institution. But in Black Christmas, it's set at a sorority house.
Okay.
And there's somebody picking them off, but they don't know who it is.
Right.
And he's not, like, related to any of them.
Right.
So it's not exactly the same.
Yeah, and I know from what I read, John Carpenter asked Bob Clark if he was going to make a sequel, and Bob Clark said, no, probably not. And Halloween's kind of considered the sequel to Black Christmas. So yeah. Psycho is considered the official first slasher film. I'm pretty sure there's other films that were out that might be on that level that you know.
Like earlier than that?
Yeah. Yeah.
First one was The Spiral Staircase in the 40s.
That was the name of the movie?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
a slasher movie.
Really? I'll have to check that out. But anyways, I think Psycho is considered the first official, but Halloween's the one that kind of like made slashers popular. Jaws created the summer blockbuster and generated the phobia of sharks. Alien, I just put the film had a strong female lead and intense atmosphere that captures the slogan, "In space, no one can hear you scream." There's a book out there called, actually something that you might want to look into. God dang it. It's about writing a character for your movie. And it's called Save the Cat. And it's based off of Alien, God dang. What's her name? Sigourney Weaver's character. Ripley? Ripley, thank you. Why Ripley was a likable character, and it talks about because she does like this heroic thing and saves the cat, and they build it based off of that. Something you should look into. The original Dracula, I put that on there. I don't know have you guys ever seen the original Dracula? You've probably seen pictures and stuff of it, but I love that movie, and I just love it's slow as shit, but I love I don't know, it's awesome. I love the picture. Huh?
It's alright.
It's alright? I
Not as
love
good
it,
as the
man.
book.
Huh?
Not as good as the book.
Of course, nothing's as good as the book. Friday the 13th was inspired by Halloween. Created Jason Voorhees, an iconic character and a household name. American Werewolf in London. How many people have seen American Werewolf in London?
A long time ago.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. The effects in that movie are just freaking awesome. And it's a great movie. That's probably, we were talking about favorite horror films in here earlier. Easily it's favorite top 5 right there. Night of the Living Dead, which was directed by George Romero, kicked off the genre, zombie genre, but I know it wasn't the first zombie film. I actually think there's a film before it called White Zombie, and then even something before that, and I'm not sure what the name of that was. Do you know, Mike?
I think White Zombie's the first one.
White
But
Zombie.
that's a different genre almost, because they made zombie movies for like 30 years before that, but they were all about like voodoo style zombies.
Right.
They weren't reanimated corpses, they were more like hypnotized people.
I saw watching an interview with George Romero, and he was talking about like when they were eating the guts and stuff. It was actually like the guts of like pigs and stuff that he borrowed from like a local butcher shop. And he said himself he was grossed out because some of the actors actually was like chewing on legit guts and stuff. They were all into the film. He was just like, whatever.
That's
I'm gonna make a movie.
dedication.
Yeah, definitely. Nightmare on Elm Street, probably another one of my top favorite 5. I think it's the most imaginative slasher flick. I love Freddy Krueger. I think he's a cool character. The Thing. I hope everyone's seen The Thing. The practical and makeup effects in that movie I think it's better than any CGI out there. If anything, I think this movie is a testament why practical effects should be still used today. What are you laughing?
The Shining.
See, I told you it was late.
The Shining.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's new.
That would be really
Anyways,
creepy. Here's a new idea.
There's a documentary out there called Room 237. If you haven't seen it, I suggest watching it. Have you seen The Shining? No? You should check it out. Not you.
I've seen
You've seen it?
Yeah, I need to rewatch it, but I've seen
Right.
it. It's
Michael,
good.
have you seen it?
I need to.
Okay, I really suggest watching it, and then after watching that movie, watch Room 237, the documentary about it. It's like, will blow your mind. Have you seen that documentary? Yeah. I thought it was freaking awesome. Anyways, Texas Chainsaw Massacre
That's a good one.
kicked off the torture porn genre. So we're going with that. Scream, which was a black comedy that saturated the cliches of horror genres. You said it was the last horror film you thought that was good. So I mean,
I love Scream. Yeah, that's
yeah,
fantastic.
it's a great movie.
It's kind of a screenwriter's horror movie. Like I would imagine a lot of screenwriters probably like it more than most people.
The guy who did it was a genius. Yeah, I forgot his name.
Kevin Williams.
Kevin Williams. I studied his stuff for years. It's great.
Did he work on the fourth one or no? Did
He
Kevin
did.
Williams write the fourth? Because I really like the fourth movie. I'm not sure if anyone else saw it, but
Yeah, he worked on it. Both didn't Wes Craven and him?
yeah.
Wes Craven directed all four. I don't know if Kevin wrote all four.
I didn't think he directed all four. I thought he only directed the first.
No, he did all four.
Oh, really?
Matter of fact, Scream 4 was his last movie, I think.
I think it was too, which is, I think, a good note to leave on. Yeah. Okay, the Blair Witch Project. The reason why I put that up there, just because of the excellent marketing they did for this film. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but before the film was even put into theaters, they made a short, like, little documentary about how they found the videos. And if you watch that documentary, you're like, shit, this is real. This really happened. And then you see the movie, it's like, whoa, this is legit. So it was just like genius marketing. And I think, I'm not sure if it's still this way, but I know at one point this was the biggest box office return holder. I don't know if it's
I
been
think
beaten
it
out
still
or not.
is. Like,
It's gotta be.
yeah.
As far as grossing, right?
Like for investment
Right.
versus
Yeah.
like the ratio.
Right. Oh, shit, what did you do?
And you just met the guy who did it, right?
I didn't meet the guy who did it, but I met the,
So,
well, I'll tell you afterwards. It's
Eduardo Sanchez.
my favorite movie is a movie done by Eduardo Sanchez, who's the director of Blair Witch Project, and it's called Exist. It's a Bigfoot movie. I actually saw it at the AFI Horror Film Festival like 2 years ago. Favorite movie. But anyways, he's a Maryland guy, and I've worked with a couple people that actually work with him because he films a lot of his stuff in Maryland.
people I just watched.
So, you know, I don't know how much he does as far as like producing. I'm sorry.
It's called Exist.
Exists. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a Bigfoot movie.
Okay.
It's awesome. Okay, these are movies that are considered, I think, 21st century actually good, I guess, modern horror films. So I'm gonna. Did you see any of these up here?
Oh, yeah, I've seen all of them.
Oh, have you seen all of them? You didn't like the Babadook?
Oh, actually, I misspoke it. I only seen bits and pieces of that one.
Okay.
But that's the one about the box and the, is that the?
It's about the mom
Jewish
and
thing
the
or
son, and they have this book, and there's like this. Not to give anything away, there's like this creature that she's dealing with.
You're thinking of the possession.
Yeah, you're
Possession,
yeah,
Which is
yeah.
about a Dybbuk.
Different, that's right.
What? This is
Australian.
it was Australian. Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting those two mixed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't seen Get Out in the first one, but everyone.
I haven't seen Get Out either. I just put it up there because
Is
it's
it?
really good. Everyone keeps saying it's good. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Your Next. I keep hearing about that. Cabin in the Woods is excellent.
Yeah.
I saw The Devil. Have you guys ever seen that? I know you have, man. You're shaking your head. It's a Korean film, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Matter of fact, the guy who directed Your Next is going to direct a remake of it.
really. I don't like that. But there is a remake up here too. Let the Right One In. Did anybody seen that? It's a Swedish film, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then they did a remake called Let Me In, which was done in English. But if you were going to watch it, Let the Right One In. It's a twist on the whole vampire genre. It's really good. It's a really good movie. Oculus. Has anybody seen Oculus?
Very long time ago.
Okay.
Right now.
That's the one you kind of like keeps you thinking. It Follows. Has anybody seen It Follows? How does people feel about that? I hate it.
Really?
Everybody keeps talking about it. Yeah.
When I saw it, when I went to see it when it was in theaters, and I had not watched the trailer, I didn't have any idea what it was about. And then when it started, and I was like, oh, this is like the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
I was so like just thrilled with that.
Really?
That it's literally what the title of the movie is.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
It wasn't amazing. I mean, I feel like all the credit was getting for being like a throwback, which was not, wasn't new at that point.
I think it was just very artsy fartsy. That's why I'm.
It had the vibe
Yeah.
that where it like told you, I'm a really high quality movie, and everybody was like, yeah, okay,
Right.
I guess you are.
Saw, which I think the first one's good, but then as those movies punched out, they got really bad. 28 Days Later was a twist on the whole zombie genre. I thought it was a great film. The Ring. I think everyone's probably seen The Ring.
I like the Ring a lot.
That's a very popular one. It's okay.
It's better than the things that followed it.
Insidious, It the remake. Anybody seen it?
What is that one about? I think I've seen it.
This is It the remake.
No, it's Insidious.
Insidious. Insidious is about the boy who can astral project,
Mm-mm, no, I
and
haven't
he
seen
projects out of his body.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
And then there's like a demon floating around his room, and they're worried that it's going to possess his body when he has to.
It's a good movie. It's pretty.
I didn't like it.
Director's James Swan, right?
Yeah, James Wan did the first two.
Okay, he did the first two.
The guy who did part 3, and there's a fourth one coming.
He did The Conjuring. Both
Yeah,
of those.
and he did Saw.
And was he? Did he write it or direct it?
Both.
Okay. Oh, cool. Yeah. So James Wan, he's like I think the best horror film director out there right now. So if I saw his name attached to anything, I'm like, all right, that's good. Trick or Treat was I think it's kind of a cult film, but that's one of my favorites too. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. And then Shaun of the Dead, just a black comedy for the zombie genres.
But what's your opinion of the Descent? I'm just interested in your opinion on that.
I don't like the end. I thought the movie was really cool until the end, and then I know they made a sequel, and I was just like, that's stupid. I ain't gonna see that. But
I like the sequel better.
really, I haven't seen it yet. I thought it was just it was a cool concept. I think it's like because it's like very claustrophobic, and I think like it plays off of that the atmosphere. So that's the reason why I liked it, or I thought it was scary at least.
Yeah.
Dealing with something in a claustrophobic and like there's no way out, you know.
And the effects are pretty good. I mean,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I feel about that. Mortars I haven't seen yet, but I hear that's really good. I know there's a remake, right?
Yeah.
The remake's crap. Don't watch the remake. I think I watched the remake and I regret it.
You watched? You saw the remake, but not the original?
I didn't know it was a remake. I was just
Oh,
watching it.
okay.
And I was like, well, "This is everyone's been talking like this is stupid." I threw Paranormal Activity up there just because of how much success it's had. I think the first one was a great concept, but then it just rolled with it too much. It was
And
over.
somebody really like Cabin in the Woods. Can they tell me why everyone loves that? Was it?
Dude, Cabin in the Woods is like very similar, I think, to Scream. It's like a tribute to all the tropes of horror films. Yeah. So.
It's not really a scary movie. It's,
No.
it's a
Yeah, I liked it, but I wasn't scared. Yeah.
No, it's like a high concept comedy.
Yeah. I think it was genius. It was like one of those movies that made it look like when they did the marketing that's supposed to be a horror film, and then when you go see it, that's not what you got. And then maybe it might have like turned people off because they had one expectation and really they weren't getting it. But I thought it was genius. I loved it. And like a merman. Didn't you want to see what happens with a merman? Come on now. These are some numbers I was just giving out. And the Blair Witch Project, the budget was $60K, and they grossed $248 million, which is ridiculous. Halloween was kind of like another independent kind of low-budget film with $325K and grossed $70 million. Paranormal Activity, $15K, grossed $193 million. Annabelle was $6.5 million to make, grossed $231 million. The reason why I threw Annabelle in here is because I think across the board most people agree Annabelle was a crappy movie, and still look how much money it made. There was a couple of like found footage, because when Paranormal Activity came out, everyone just started pumping out found footage films, and they were talking about found footage films that were considered flops, but really made like 5 times their budget. Apollo 18 was one. It was made for $1 million, and it made like $18 million. It was considered a flop, but really it made $17 million. You know, so that's why I said, like, as far as return goes for a genre, horror is where it's at, and that's why I'm like, I want to make horror films. Keep them
Horror films
going.
are fun.
Yeah, they are fun. It's
Just worked on 48-hour film project horror. Yeah,
There you go.
they're fun.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about common horror film tropes, and
Sex.
yeah,
Great.
uh,
That's a good one there.
these are not my concepts. I ripped them off online, so hopefully I do justice in explaining everything really well. So first one, I don't want to. Oh shit!
Oh, snake.
I knew he was gonna do that.
The jump scare. Sorry, I didn't. You look mad now.
Really
Did I
scary.
just? Oh, sorry.
There's not too much to wind up.
You guys looked cool, so I was like, let me just throw this.
You
snake
gave it away
on.
by just giving me a sec. You should have
Yeah.
just done it.
Oh man.
No, my sons have done that to me tons of times, and I still get scared every time it happens.
Okay.
I'm like, I know he's gonna do something here.
Right. How'd you know?
You kind of said just give me a sec. That's why. You gave it away.
Damn. Damn.
To be honest.
All right. So the jump scare kind of gave like a short definition of what the intent for the jump scare is supposed to do. It's supposed to raise the audience's, get the audience. Oh my God. It's supposed to get your heart rate pumping through a tactical, suspenseful moment, followed by a quick scare to inject dopamine and adrenaline, which in turn creates a buzz from the release of these chemicals in your brain. That's what a jump scare is. In recent modern horror films, this is a cheap method to hide writing and plot flaws or poor character development. So most modern film you go to is probably just full of what they call like false jump scares. Just basically, you know, the camera's hiding, an individual standing over there, as soon as it pans, somebody jumps out and it's like your friend. It's not really what you're supposed to be scared at. And I'm going to give a couple examples here in a minute. If it's overused, it's ineffective and counterproductive. Just put it up there. So the jump scare goes into, like, I think, audience expectation. And using the Babadook for my example here, the movie was portrayed to be a monster movie about this creature, but the movie's more than just that. It's actually like a psychological thriller, and not to give anything away, because I don't think everyone's seen it. What do you look for?
The bathroom.
It's you gotta go out. Sorry. Want me to wait for you?
No.
Are you guys scared the piss out of you?
No, there's like a bump on my face, and I don't know why it's there. I'm gonna go see what's going on.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
It's just irritating me, and so I could feel it, and then it was just like weird.
It's a snake. It's okay.
It was the snake, yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
Where's the snake at?
Oh, we gave it back.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So what I was getting at, there's gripes about the movie Babadook because I guess, like I said, it was portrayed to be a monster movie, but that's not what it was. And I think some people don't get it, and that's why this little tangent that I'm going off to is like the expectation that most people go to see horror films is to get scared, and I think most people expect these jump scares or these false scares, and they consider that to be scary instead of the actual thing that's supposed to scare you, or this ending that's kind of build up to get you scared, right? Understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's awesome. You just agree.
I do understand. That's why I agreed. If I didn't, I'd probably ask a question.
All right. Oh, I'm so sorry. I meant to bring freaking speakers and I forgot. Now, this is from the original Halloween, and I'm going to show you. Can we turn that light off? I'm sorry.
I don't like the turn this off.
It's like motion sensor.
That must have been.
I think it's on a timer. Followed by automatically turns on. Hey, help help yourself to candy, guys.
Here, put another people have candy.
Yeah. I bought that whole bag for us, so you know.
I might take another one later. I'll just sit and pick at it.
Oh, you go for it.
No, it's really bad.
You'll have to pass it on because I can't reach over there. So.
There's also sugar ones, but it's all sugar.
All right. All right. This is a scene from Halloween. I'm gonna wait for the rustling.
Oh,
I like the original Halloween plot.
It's been a while since I've seen it. I need to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna do it this Halloween. Watch it over the time span. Even if it's first November, I still will watch it.
I haven't seen it yet. I might watch it tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. I've never got around to most of the 80s horror films, unfortunately.
Oh man,
you want more?
that's awesome.
Are you sure? Don't want to take this?
I was gonna wait till the rustling goes down because
Don't want this back?
I'm playing sound from my computer. I forgot the freaking speakers.
It's okay.
Yeah. No, it's gonna ruin my jump scares.
I hate jump scares.
Okay. Ready?
Let's see what the cop finds.
Okay. That's a tactful jump scare. Now, most modern films, if they were to have the same scene, what they would do with it, and you know, you can throw on any modern horror film, and you'll pick up on this right away, was there would be no music, so the music would be quiet. Right there. So they would put a music cue in there or a loud noise, and what this does to the film is you're not supposed to be afraid of the cop, right? So why would they throw in a musical cue in there to tell you to be afraid of the cop, right? You're afraid of Michael Myers.
Yep.
That's who you're supposed to be afraid of. So when that cue shits up, that's what I'm saying. It's putting the attention on the police officer instead of what the actual horror is, which is Michael Myers, right? The build-up is supposed to be based around Michael Myers. Now, hang on a second. If I'm losing you, it's going to make more sense here in a minute.
It's meant to be misleading of what you're looking for.
Right.
What the character's looking for in the film. He knows there's a serial killer out there. He's looking for them, and then the other thing, the cop,
Right.
comes instead, and then he thought it was Michael Myers.
Right. David, do you want to give the presentation?
Sorry.
I'm kidding. No, you're fine. You're awesome. No, you.
I could be.
No, I'm just teasing. I just want to show you another good one here with The Sixth Sense. Why'd you laugh? It's a good movie.
I liked The Sixth Sense.
The Sixth Sense is good, yeah.
Now,
I like every one of his movies.
so this is a demonstration of, like, most of the times the scary scenes are like cutaways, right? So a quick cut or a quick jump, right? To just create that quick moment. This movie, or this scene here, this jump scare that we're about to see, didn't rely on a quick jump. It relied on the work with the camera and the development of the scene. So let's watch it and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So instead of using a quick jump, they use the camera work to kind of angle your view over it until you find the thing that's scary, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. They were talking about just this being the most cliche used horror jump scare tactic.
You should stop taking those pills. Oh, Jesus. Sorry. I thought you saw me.
Oh, she's awful. How'd you? Alright, I'm gonna stop it here. Anyways.
Things are getting worse.
Yeah. My point being with this is, one, it's most of those were a false scare. Like it was something that you weren't supposed to be scared of, right? And another thing is it's predictable because it's been done so many times now that you see a mirror in the, you're just waiting for that to happen when it's like expected almost. And this is not my concept, I stole this from somebody else, but I liked it. A horror film should be like sex, where you don't want to climax too early, or else the film becomes tiresome by the end when it's supposed to be frightening. So if you're releasing all that dopamine or adrenaline before the finale of the film, it gets tiresome and old. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay. I like that, what do you call it? Metaphor, simile, whatever. Okay, now going back to the tropes.
That's so true.
So jump scare, Andy. The no coverage trope. Yep, you read it. Chances are, if you're a character in a horror film, your cell phone will have no coverage. Is this in your witch movie?
Oh, it's funny that one of the comments they recently gave me is that, you know, the big thing is that a lot of mine are teens, that, you know, they really emphasize that for teens today, the cell phone is like their ye or whatever. So yeah, so actually funny, just this weekend I added a cell phone scene. So
Really?
I mean, with yeah, so.
But anyways, like what this point's making across is that it's kind of like an easy way to get around. Like it's so easy just to call for help because I have my cell phone. So the only thing you really do that is no coverage or your battery dies or.
My favorite for that was Jurassic World. That movie has so many scenes where it's like, wow, the coverage on this theme park is really bad. And then like the rest of the time, like, when they needed to call, it always worked.
Right.
And when the film didn't need them to call, it never worked.
Right.
And this is like, I think there's like 8 different sequences where they either successfully call or fail to call someone, depending on what the film wants to happen.
Yeah. Wow.
It's so bad in that film.
That's so funny.
What I get tired of Jurassic Park is it's like, how haven't they learned how to deal with these things better? It's like they can't still make a successful theme park.
Machine Gun should work on a dinosaur.
It's like, let's just forget it altogether.
Listen, don't ruin it for me. I like seeing dinosaurs eat people. Okay.
I just
Actually,
watched
it's
the first one
pretty
again.
cool if you like Jurassic Park. It
The
is.
first one's good.
That's what I did.
liked
I
the
just watched the
latest
first
one.
one again.
I thought it was good.
It had some, I won't give it away, but it had some nice tribute to the old one.
Jurassic World. Yeah, I had some problems with it.
Oh, you saw it? I thought you said you didn't see
No, I
it.
did see it.
Oh,
I was just
okay.
saying I like the old one better.
Okay, yeah, I like the tributes in it.
Yeah, it's nice, but it was like, I don't know, it was kind of like, ah, we gotta grab our own fan base. Oh, look, it's a nice Jurassic World. You know, like,
Did you
Well, it was
get
an
annoyed
action
by
movie set in a
the
horror movie.
clear
original was
pod
arguably a
scene?
horror film.
right.
and the newest one was an action film.
It was like it was a little bit of a comedy
It was,
action.
'cause it wasn't frightening at any point. It was all about just like showing off the big effects, and of course they were all CGI.
Did you get annoyed by the clear pod thing with the kids?
I've never seen those before. That's why I'm like, where?
The things they were going in and they tore around the
All of a
park.
sudden, I'm like,
Yeah.
I think
Tony
I was
Stark
annoyed.
exists in the Jurassic Park universe now.
They were trying to, I think, modernize it, like
I
futurize
thought
it.
it was
I was-
cute.
It was, but it kind of annoyed me that they took that new idea and then they made it happen the same exact way that it happened to the kids, and it didn't really look good in the futuristic bubble thingy.
Right.
Like they're just in this circle, and it was the same thing that was happening to the car with the T-Rex.
Right.
And I was
They
like,
just did the
I don't like
classic
the
shot.
recreation of that.
Right. I think as far as films go, it wasn't like bad.
No.
It wasn't like when you compare it to the original. The original blows it out of the park.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. And it's like, I don't know, why try when like you can't like compete.
They should have made some of their own new ideas how the kids get into trouble or something.
Right. Or not have kids in there.
Well, that was annoying too, just having kids. There always has to be kids getting into trouble.
Right.
When they first announced it, I thought it was going to be like the dinosaurs are off the island and are like infesting ecosystems or something, which is always like the bad scenario in the books that they were trying to avoid. I'm like, okay, that could be interesting. They have to go and like find some raptors in a jungle somewhere or something. No, it's another part.
Or maybe
I just
somebody
think
gets
people are that
away with
stupid.
taking it to a city and something happens. That would be
Yes.
really crazy.
Like
It's-
T-Rex in like New York or something.
Has anybody seen it? Or I mean, has everybody seen it or no?
Jurassic World, you
Yeah.
mean?
If you haven't seen it, raise your hand. Oh, okay. I'm not ruining
alright.
anything
Fell
for you.
asleep.
You fell asleep.
Oh, there you go. That's
It was boring for her, apparently.
There's a concept in this movie that was actually so there was supposed to be a fourth Jurassic after the third one came out. There was supposed to be a fourth Jurassic Park movie, and the concept was for it was human dinosaur
hybrids.
hybrids
Oh.
that were militarized and needed to be stopped.
Yeah.
Which, if you've seen Jurassic World, they kind of play off that concept a little bit. So it's like, yeah.
I'm glad they didn't do it.
No, well, I
No.
mean, if you've seen Jurassic World, I think they played off that concept a little bit. Yeah.
A little bit, a little bit.
And they set it up for war in the sequel.
Yeah.
How many-
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. The abandoned place. So, haunted houses, mental institutions, the cabin in the woods, a abandoned spacecraft. The thought behind this trope is that there's something eerie with the imagery depicting places people have left behind that strike a nerve. Like, what happened? Why is this place abandoned? What occurred here? You see that in Alien, I think, is a good one. Even the Evil Dead movies, I feel like when you see the cabin, you feel like something happened here, especially when you're finding the stuff, like, okay, what happened? So it's kind of like a easy way to create, like, eerie atmosphere. This thing is just saying, like, make sure that you're not relying on your atmosphere, that you're also building into your characters. The Vengeful Spirit. There's so many freaking movies like this. It's ridiculous. A ghost always seems to have a grudge against the living. These spirits spend eternity to exact revenge on the characters. From suffering the spirit endures in the past. Eventually, our characters discover the truth, solve a riddle, and set a right wrong to eventually bring peace to an angry spirit. Most of these films, our character just accepts ghosts exist, vengeful ones for that matter, and go on with their normal lives once they've succeeded. But what about the fact that they have proof about the existence of the afterlife, which should be a world-changing revelation? What's that? What Lies Beneath? Has anybody seen that? Okay, that's a good one. The Ring is a good one. These movies come dime a dozen, I think. Lights Out, recent one. That same kind of concept there.
Didn't the movie The Boy try to do a twist on this trope and everyone hated it?
I haven't seen The Boy, so I'm not entirely sure.
Uh,
You ruined the twist. I'm just kidding. It's cool. Death by sex.
Good one.
Exploiting young kids and don't have sex or you're gonna die in a horror film.
I just watched one last night.
Oh yeah.
Oh, a movie called Teeth.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I had never seen it before, and I actually enjoyed it.
Has anybody else seen Teeth? Okay.
Dude.
Matt, quit raising your hand. The premise of the movie is about a young girl that has a set of teeth in her vagina, and she just uses it to exact revenge on dudes that screw her over.
But it's based off some crazy lore from somewhere
Right.
that you briefly see because she looks it up on the internet and everything. So it's some kind of crazy, I don't remember which lore, but
Right. Voodoo kind of thing. I think,
voodoo,
yeah.
certain gods, and Amazon stuff and all that.
Right. But yeah, like this thing, it's the ultimate 80s trope. All those 80 films you watch, the people that have sex dying.
That's a really good example of it, I think.
The Final Girl, which is in most slasher subgenres. A group of teenagers come together to have a good time, and everyone ends up dead but one girl. The thought behind this trope is to have the audience identify and emphasize with a character who's small and terrified instead of a large, angry man. Usually for this trope, the film starts with a large group of young people who represent different archetypes, such as the jock, the slut, the nerd, probably plenty of more. The filmmaker wants the audience to be unsure who will live and who will die. Having a large group get picked off one by one helps with that. The final girl is usually innocent, shy in the beginning, but in the end she's revealed to be the most intelligent and resourceful, which in return helps her find the strength to defeat the killer. I kind of cover this, but this is like a little just side note that I have in here. Marketing, I think, is very important, and The Village, I think, is like the ultimate example. The film was marketed as a creature feature with M. Night Shyamalan, when in reality, the movie's a love story set in a time period piece. So I feel like, because I saw the Village in theater, and I remember like expecting that and not seeing that, and I was like, this movie's so stupid. And I think a lot of people said that, but then I recently rewatched it, and now I have like a different feeling about the movie. As like one, I feel like if you've seen it when it first came out, you should give it a second look, and I think it makes a whole lot difference. And then The Babadook was another good one. It was also marketed as like a creature feature kind of film, but really there's more to it than that.
Crimson Peak did this as well.
Crimson Peak.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
That's right.
Okay. I've
And
heard
then for
about
some
that.
reason, like during the film, he also tried to sell it as a horror movie, even though it was a gothic romance.
Right.
Like there's some weird jump scares in it that are out of place with everything else in the film.
That's
that
what I heard.
Kind of ruins it a little bit.
That's
Like,
what I
it should have been
heard.
better.
It looked beautiful, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stay away from
Stunning, but
it. Dang. Okay. So that's all I got. And then we kind of talked about this in the beginning, but I want to go around and ask everyone for their top 3 favorite horror films. Doesn't have to be in any order or anything, just whatever comes off your head. And you can start first.